It all began about 8 or 9 months after I moved into my first house. I was 24, fresh out of college, finally earning a steady paycheck and tasting real independence for the first time. Everything about my life felt new. New responsibilities, new routines, a new sense of control over my own world. Renting always made me feel temporary, like I was just passing through someone else's space, but this house, this felt permanent. It felt like proof that I was finally standing on my own 2 feet. The neighborhood was quiet, almost too quiet. Tree-lined streets, perfectly kept lawns, the kind of place where you assume nothing bad ever happens. Neighbors would wave, but mostly kept to themselves. No loud music, no late-night chaos, just routine, predictability and calm at least. That's what I believed. The house itself wasn't extravagant, but it was mine. 2 stories, a simple layout, and a small backyard that backed up to a line of trees. But what really sold me was the basement. It was enormous, bigger than the entire first floor. It felt like the kind of basement you dream about turning into a home gym, a theater, or a game room. My mind raced with possibilities. But even in those early days, something about the basement felt off. The previous owners had divided the space with plywood walls and exposed wooden framing. Instead of one large, open room, it was carved into sections. A main area at the bottom of the stairs. A laundry space tucked away, a workshop cluttered with old shelves, and beyond that, a narrow storage room that felt tighter, darker, and colder than the rest. No matter where you stood, you could never see the entire basement at once. There were blind spots everywhere, corners where the light didn't reach. It was all lit by a few old, weak yellow bulbs. I thought it was kind of cool at the time, private, isolated. I didn't know then how wrong I was. The night everything changed wasn't dramatic. No storm, no strange noises, just an ordinary weeknight. I needed to do laundry. I remember carrying the basket down, distracted, thinking about work the next day. As I reached the top of the basement steps, I stopped. The lights were already on. For a moment, it was just confusion, not fear. I stood there, staring down into the basement, trying to remember when I'd last been down there. I must have forgotten to turn them off, I told myself. It felt logical, harmless. Still, something made me hesitate. I brushed it off and continued down. The air felt colder the moment I stepped off the last stair. Basements are always cold, I reasoned. Concrete, underground, normal. But the smell was stronger than usual. Damp, stale, like the air hadn't moved in a long time. As I walked toward the laundry area, a strange feeling crept over me. That subtle, instinctive sensation that something isn't right, even if you can't explain why. My shoulders tightened, my steps slowed. Then I saw movement in my peripheral vision. I turned my head and froze. A man was crouched behind one of the folding tables in the far corner. For a split second, my mind refused to accept what my eyes were seeing. It felt impossible. A stranger was hiding in my basement. He looked filthy. His clothes were dark and stiff with grime. His hair was tangled and matted. His skin looked smeared with layers of dirt. But what terrified me most were his eyes. They were already locked onto mine, cold, alert, aware. He wasn't surprised. He wasn't scrambling to hide. He had been watching me. My heart began pounding so violently I could hear it in my ears. My chest felt tight, like my lungs forgot how to work. Every muscle in my body locked up. I couldn't scream. I couldn't move. Then, he stood up. He didn't come toward me. He turned and ran deeper into the basement, disappearing into the maze of plywood walls. That snapped something inside me. Panic flooded my system. I spun around and rushed for the stairs, and that's when the lights went out. All of them. The basement was swallowed by a darkness so complete it felt unreal. Not dim, not shadowy. Absolute blackness. I couldn't see my hands. I couldn't see the stairs. I took one step and tripped, slamming hard onto the concrete. Pain shot through my knees and palms, but adrenaline drowned it out. I scrambled blindly, disoriented. My phone was upstairs. No flashlight. Just darkness. I screamed, not words, just raw, uncontrolled screams, hoping to scare him away. Instead, I heard screaming back from somewhere in the darkness. It was louder than mine. Sharper, more unhinged. The sound didn't even feel human. It echoed off the walls, surrounding me, That's when I realized something horrifying. He wasn't afraid. The basement felt alive now. I could hear movement behind me, footsteps sliding softly against the concrete. He knew the layout. He knew exactly where everything was. I tried to move toward where I thought the stairs were, my hands guiding me. I could hear his breathing now. Close, too close. Then something grabbed my ankle. The grip was unbelievably strong. I was yanked backwards so hard I hit the floor again, the impact knocking the air from my lungs. Terror exploded through me. I kicked wildly, screaming, thrashing with everything I had. My heel connected with something solid. He let go. I didn't stop to think. I twisted, crawled, then stumbled forward until my hands hit wood. The stairs. I grabbed the railing and ran, taking the steps 2 at a time. I burst through the door at the top and slammed it shut. It didn't have a lock. I pressed my entire body against it, shaking with fear. Seconds later, footsteps thundered up the stairs. The door shook violently as he slammed into it. Once, twice, again. I screamed for help until my voice went hoarse. Somehow, impossibly, I held it. Then silence. The footsteps faded. When the police arrived, he was gone. A basement window had been forced open from the outside. Nothing was stolen. One officer said something I still think about to this day. He believed the man had been living down there, hiding, watching, waiting. 4 months later, I moved out. But the truth is, this wasn't the first time a basement had terrified me. Years earlier, when I was 14, my parents left town. My older sister was supposed to stay with me, but she never showed up. That night, just after midnight, I heard tapping outside. Slow, deliberate. Later, I heard it again from the basement. I muted the TV and cracked the basement door, shining my phone's flashlight inside. A figure stood there, still watching. I ran. The police found nothing. Even earlier, when I was 9, the basement had already begun to haunt me. I was playing when I heard scratching near the stairs. Then a foam football rolled out of the storage room thrown. I ran. Years later, I learned about my aunt. Mentally unstable, violent, hidden from me. Was it her? I never got answers. And maybe that's the worst part, because danger doesn't always reveal itself. It hides, it waits in the dark, in the places you feel safest, and by the time you realize it's there, it's already too late. I still replay it in my mind, the way he didn't look surprised, the way he screamed back at me in the dark, the way the officers said he might have been living there, watching me. If I'd gone down 10 minutes later, if I'd tripped one more time, I don't think I would have made it out. And what scares me most, isn't what happened to MITS, knowing that basements like that exist everywhere. Under homes that look normal, under families who feel safe, under people who believe, just like I did, that nothing bad ever happens where they live. So if you ever feel like you're being watched, if something in your home feels off, if a shadow lingers too long, don't ignore it. Trust that feeling, because sometimes the scariest thing isn't what you see in the dark, it's what's already been there, watching, waiting long before you noticed. And if you're listening to this alone right now, maybe take a second to look around, just to be sure. Thanks for listening.